What is going on, crew? Chaz here with Side Hustle Network. I'm going to be going live real quick. So I'm going to get my cord situation resolved here. I'm working on my setup and angles because my desk situation, I have a very desk which goes up and down, and it's not ideal for the tripod setup, so I'm going to have to switch this around. So we're going to give people a minute to hop on live. Do have a message of the day, so this is not going to be a typical like hour-long live stream Q&A sesh. That's going to be Wednesday night. For tonight, I do have a topic I want to bring up real quick based on a conversation I just had with somebody, which is pretty solid. So I figured at least one person can utilize this information here. So if you guys are watching live, whether it's in one of our Facebook groups or on YouTube, please comment below. Let me know where you are watching from, if the video and audio quality is at least synced up. Doesn't even have to be great, but if it's synced up, we'll definitely take that. What's up, Bryce? How you doing, man? All right, cool. We got some people in. Welcome in. This is very impromptu. I was planning on I'm going to do my best to drop 3 videos per week between live streams and regular content. So instead of doing a normal like Amazon tutorial that was on my schedule to do today, I had a conversation with somebody that was solid. And I feel like it's advice I gave to this person that I'm just going to share here. Hopefully it helps inspire at least one of you. So we're going to go with that. So here we go. We're going to have people trickling in here. So I'm going to do my best to stay blinders on, focused, talk about what I need to talk about. And then real quick at the end, we can hit comment section and go with that. YouTube live or Zoom call with the crew. I completely spaced. It is Monday night after just about 6 o'clock. So I apologize for interrupting our regular VIP group Monday night call that goes on in there. So real quick, I want to hammer this out. I do have about 20 minutes till I got to get home to my kiddos. Grandma's going to go drop them off, so I got to beat her there. She has a key, so I don't have to beat her there. So here we go. This topic is based on a conversation I just had with somebody that physically in person, they came and met me in person after watching some YouTube videos. So I'm sure they're going to watch this content. So thank you for inspiring that conversation that we did have, because I want to share that here with you guys. This conversation is going to be mostly geared towards those who have sat around doing not much and haven't decided on which side hustle they want to pursue, or you are just stuck in analysis paralysis. You haven't done anything. You know all about Amazon, selling on Amazon, FBA. You know all about eBay. You know all about these different side hustles, but you haven't done much with any of them. This conversation is for you. 5 steps to start making your own damn money. And this is the conversation I had. This conversation started with this young gentleman who has researched all he needs to research. He knows how to sell on eBay based on all the videos that he's watched, including this channel. He knows all about the Amazon FBA logistics. He knew the process of the concept of order from suppliers, prep and package it based on Amazon standards, and then ship it off to FBA, and then FBA takes care of the rest. They fulfill the order, they take care of customer service, etc. The conversation was me asking the question, okay, great. Have you started? And of course the answer was no. So my follow-up question was, why not? You've done the research, you get the basics of it, you get the foundation. Why haven't you started? And it's always based on fear, right? And we're not going to jump down to like, face your fear and do it anyway subject here. So I had 5 legitimate things that I told him he needs to do now. Okay. Some of you are in this spot, and please, if you want absolute accountability and transparency, please comment below if you are this person too. And it's okay, because we've all been there. We've all done that. I definitely used to wear that hat a lot. I would go through and research and analyze and wait until all my ducks were in a row, wait until the perfect situation was there, and then take action on something. Now I'm kind of the opposite, where I take action on things that I may not even know much about. And whether that's smart business advice or not, but I typically now am the type that jumps and figures out how to build my wings on the way down. Not try to craft the perfect plane at the top of the cliff and then soar a nice smooth sailing down. Typically, I'm the type that takes action and then figures it out as I go. I would rather be a bold, hot mess of action than a scared coward. So it's okay if you want to own up to it right now in the comment section and just say, you know what? I'm that person. I've researched everything I need to. I get the basics of how to do this stuff, but I still haven't started. So I get it. I've been there. Many of us have been there, done that, started there. So here's the conversation we have to have. If you're in that spot, and this video is not going to be for a lot of people, and that's fine. I'm just talking to the one, maybe two people in here. They're going to watch this that are stuck in that analysis paralysis zone. Here's my advice. 5 steps. 1, mindset. I know that gets down to like cliche, cheesy mindset motivation route, but you will not get far or start at all if you don't have the right mindset. Now, mindset in this world of side hustles, entrepreneurship, e-commerce, whatever umbrella you want to put this under, none of this works if you have the mindset of treating this like a regular job. Because at your regular job, you most likely did what I used to do at my regular jobs when I had them back in the day. I would show up and do bare minimum work, just enough to get paid, and then clock out. And then my time was my time, right? Put my feet up, eat Ben and Jerry's, watch Netflix, play video games, the works. If you have the mindset of treating this like a job, it will not last long for you. I can promise you that. You have to go the extra mile. You have to put in the extra effort. And that means you have to put in late nights. You have to get up and do early mornings sometimes. I can't tell you what type of schedule to follow, but I'm telling you, if you want to build a side hustle for yourself that makes actual money, you can make a few $100 here and there without really even trying. Not that hard to do. But if you want to make an actual legitimate income of several $1,000s a month for yourself, you have to wake up and treat this thing like a business. And I'm preaching to the people that were in my shoes. I had a full-time job, 40 hours a week. I was a massage therapist. And I had to go to my regular job from about, depending on the day, it was about 9 to 5:30. By the time I got home, it was almost 6. And then I would eat dinner, spend a little bit of time with Trista, who's my wife. And then from 9 to 1 in the morning, I was working on my side hustles. Okay. And reselling wasn't the only one. I had several other side hustles I did before this until I stumbled upon the magic world of reselling. This just stuck. This was the one I loved the most. It starts with your mindset. You have to be in this for the long haul. You have to be willing to put in the late nights and the early mornings. As your business scales and grows, then you can start to outsource and you don't have to hustle and grind the late nights anymore. But in the beginning, to build your foundation, it's almost inevitable. You have to put in those hours, whether it's a chunk of time at night or a chunk of time in the morning or on your lunch break. You have to find the time to build your side hustle. This might be Amazon. This might be eBay. This might be Doordash, Instacart, walking dogs as a side business. I don't know what the case is, but this advice goes across the board for most side hustles. You have to be willing to put that in, and you have to know that this shit is going to get tough. The amount of times that people hit walls and then quit is far greater than those who suck it up, do it, and push through. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for those that are willing to go through the tough parts. And guess what? Once you get into that light, there's still going to be tough parts. The more zeros you add onto your business and your income with your side hustle eventually becoming your full-time gig, it's just more zeros. You're still going to have headaches and tough days and all that. Mindset is everything. If you can't get your mindset right with this and becoming your own boss, becoming an entrepreneur, if you really truly want to go down that road and you don't have the right mindset, stop the video now. You don't need the next 4 tips. Get your mindset right. This is not a job. You can't just show up and do bare minimum effort and expect to get a paycheck. Chances are, especially in reselling, you're going to feel like you're spending a lot of money on product. You're doing all this time listing and sourcing and shipping it to Amazon. Or if you're doing Doordash, I can speak on this firsthand now, not myself doing it, but I'm watching my dad go through it right now. He just passed like 750 Doordashes he's done now, on top of working night shift 40 hours a week. So I'm watching my dad go through this firsthand. It's the same, like when we have conversations about what he's doing with DoorDash, it's the same principle, same concept, same models or methods that we talk about here in the e-commerce space. You treat this thing like it's your business, not just your job. You have to put in the extra mile, the extra effort. So mindset is number one. Number two, once you get your mind right, you're actually going to commit to this thing. And you don't do it real quick. Back to mindset. Too many people rely on motivation. It's the same thing we deal with fitness. I'm hosting a fitness group right now. Some of you saw this on Instagram. So I have a fitness group that I've been hosting. We are all on week 2, day 1. So it's day 8. We started with 36 people, I believe. We're down to 26. We lost 10 people the first week. Why? Because I made a checklist. A true accountability checklist. And this checklist is very simple. 45-minute workout, track your calories with MyFitnessPal, gallon of water, reading 10 pages a day, and check in with the group. That's it. Very basic. 5 fairly simple things to do. But what happens is when you have a checklist to mark boxes on, it's a Google sheet that all of us share so we can all see who's doing it, who's not. What happens is people realize after 3 or 4 days of doing this stuff every single day, they either get bored, the motivation wears off, whatever the case is, but they don't check boxes, and then I remove them from the group. If people miss one day, they're removed. That is accountability. Not because I'm a jerk, not because I want to remove people from groups. I want to see people succeed, but people need to be held accountable. And that's what I'm doing in this group. So what happens in the fitness world, the same thing we're talking about here with the mindset and business, you get motivated and pumped and excited from the spark in the beginning. How you guys remember that first time that you stumbled upon this whole reselling thing? Most of us are resellers here. Like, put your mindset back in that time when you discovered this whole reselling thing and you learned how to filter down eBay solds and see what things are selling for. And then you stumbled upon Amazon, you started learning, keep on researching, and oh my gosh, I think I might have found a product. That first time you're in Walmart scanning and you find that thing, you're like, oh my gosh, I think I can make $5 on this. Like, that excitement is what most people get started with. But here's the problem. They think that that is the emotion that's going to carry them throughout their entrepreneur journey. And it's not. Motivation is just a temporary state of mind. Just like when you get angry, you're angry for a short or a little bit longer period of time, but eventually you come back down to your neutral. It's just like happiness or joy or excitement. It's a heightened state of emotion. You're pumped, you're excited, you're happy, and then it comes back down to neutral. The same thing happens with your motivation, whether it's starting your new side hustle, whether it's going into a fitness journey. You're pumped on week 1. Guess what, folks? We are now in second full week of 2021. Do you know how many people sat down on January 1st and wrote out their goals and what they're going to do to crush this year? Here we are in week 2 and they haven't done shit. That is the group of people that is the stereotype that relies on their motivation to carry them through. So if you're not relying on motivation, then what are you relying on? It comes down to your commitment. That's it. Staying committed to something simply means sticking with it and doing the tasks you said you would do after the mindset you were in has left. So when you're pumped up, you're motivated, you're excited, you set all these huge goals for yourself. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to learn eBay. I'm going to learn Amazon. I'm going to do these things and crush it. I'm going to make my family $5,000 a month. My wife, my husband, my whatever can quit their job. That's all speaking out of a heightened state. You cannot rely on that. You rely on your commitment and integrity to follow through with what you said you would do. And here's the problem with a lot of people, including myself, how I used to be. I kept making these big promises to myself and to my family, and time again, I would let them down because I procrastinated, I got lazy, whatever the case is. I did not do the work I said I would do. And then I ultimately let myself down again. One day, I got sick and tired of talking all that smack, setting these huge goals. And I finally sat down and made a checklist of what I need to get done every day and every week to carry me through to these larger results by the end of the year. I did that for my fitness. I did that for my overall health and well-being. I lost 20 pounds because of following these checklists that I made for myself. And now I'm implementing it in business. And guess what? Our sales and profit the sales did double, profit nearly doubled in 2020 versus 2019. Not because I did anything extravagantly different. I followed a set of tasks every single week, some of them every day, no matter how I felt, because I wasn't relying on my motivation or how I felt about it that day. I just showed up and did it because I committed to it. I promised my family they would have a certain lifestyle within the next few years. I promised myself I would stop quitting and stop settling for less than I am worth. And I started stepping up and doing it. That is the mindset it takes. If you cannot wrap your head around that, being an entrepreneur is probably not going to be the best gig for you. And that's okay. Being an entrepreneur, hardest shit you'll ever go through. I can tell you that. Many people here in the chat can back me up on that one. That's my spiel on mindset. Number 2, once you get over the mindset portion, and some of you, it's going to take a while. I didn't develop the mindset I have overnight or in the first 6 months or in the first 2 years. I'm 5 years into my journey. It took me really until I would consider year 4 until it clicked, until I finally got my act together. And now my mindset's a completely different person than it was a year ago. And you're going to evolve and go through phases and ups and downs and roller coasters, all that stuff. It's all going to come at you. You just keep showing up and doing it anyways. So number 2, once you get over the mindset, then you weigh out your options. And again, I'm speaking to absolute beginners who are just either dabbling in a couple different side hustle ideas, or if you haven't started any of it yet, you still have a full-time job. Some of you have a job that you hate, and you still show up to it, but you watch these videos, you watch other reseller videos, and you sit here and wonder, what would that be like? If I could wake up and my only job for the day was to go source, to ship products to my customers. That sounds like a really cool gig. And guess what? It is. But we had to bust our asses like every other full-time person to get where we are today. And you don't get to have that. You don't get to own that until you put in the same level of work or more that those of us who are full-time did. So once you get past the mindset portion, then you need to look at your options. Obviously, this is a very reselling heavy channel, but we are Side Hustle Network. We're not tied to just reselling. I brought up my dad. I should get my dad on here. I wonder how uncomfortable he would be if I just threw a video camera on him. I should bring my dad up here to talk about Doordash because obviously he has firsthand experience. I don't. I can just talk about what I've seen and talk to with him about. But Doordash is probably one of the most underrated side hustles that anyone can do right now. And you may not make much. You'll make between $4 and $8 per trip. But if you get the stops and the routes and learn how, like my dad has mastered, he's done over 750 stops now. And he's mastered which locations not to go to because you have to walk an extra 20 feet to, this side of the counter to pick up food or whatever the case may be. But he's learned his routes. And that came through experience and doing and trial and error because he made a lot of mistakes. So weigh out your options. DoorDash is a phenomenal way to do it right now. You're not going to make a ton of money, but what you can do is make enough money with that side hustle to fund what might be your bigger side hustle, such as reselling. Now, the gentleman that came in here and I was talking to about all of this and what sparked the idea for this video, he's at that point where he hasn't started anything. And that's why I want to do this video, because I know some of you are in that same position too. If you haven't started any side hustle, but you want to start making your own money for yourself and your family, you have to choose a path, any path. Doesn't matter if it's eBay, Amazon, DoorDash, Instacart, walking a dog, walking your friend's dog for $5 for 30 minutes. Find any side hustle. Learn the basics of it and then get to work. So you have to weigh out which options are going to work best for you. Now, the gentleman I talked to, his options, what I, through the conversation, perceived was his best option, was going to be utilizing DoorDash because he has zero money. And some of you are in that position. That's okay. A lot of us start there. So if you're starting with zero or $50 or $100, it's very difficult to get into reselling with that little. Now you can, don't get me wrong. I'm going to get somebody on here. It's like, I started with $50 and turned it into 7 figures. Great. But you can't disagree with me when I say that if you start with $50, you're going to have very slow growth compared to somebody who starts with 1,000. How you get that 1,000 is another way. So in this case, I had brought up to this guy, I would recommend you go DoorDash. He doesn't have a job. He's got nothing but free time. I'm not assuming, this is all one-on-one conversation we just had. So I know these facts. And these are the same facts that some of you are facing right now too. If you have the time, it doesn't matter if you're doing low wage side hustle gigs. Do whatever you need to do. Take on a second job if you have a full-time job. Tristan and I had to do this. We both had 2 jobs at one time at one point, and Trista was going to school on top of that. Like, we had insane schedules back in the day. We saw each other once a week for like 4 hours. It sucked. But we got through that. And now we're in a much better place. But work a second job or a side job or create your own side hustle. So I brought up, do DoorDash, do it 4 or 5 days a week. Let's say you make $100 a day, which you might hustle all day to only make 75 or $100. Not a lot of money. But what you can do with that money is over the course of 5 days, you may have $500. I know there's like, the fees and I don't know how the taxes and the fees work on DoorDash or anything like that. Let's just say it's $400 at the end of the week. Hustled all week and you got $400. Doesn't seem like much until you do it a second week or a third week in a row. And after a month, let's just say you grinded it out on DoorDash. You got yourself $1,000 saved up. Now you've got a pretty solid starting point to get into. What I recommended to him was eBay. And I explained to him, eBay is phenomenal for many reasons. It's got cons. I know I'm going to get people here. It's like, eBay. Trust me, I'm with you on the cons. But we can all agree that eBay is one of the best options in the reselling world because it's a low cost of entry to get in. You can literally go to thrift stores and find things for $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 that you can sell for $30, $40, $50 plus. Especially if you get into electronics, clothing. Obviously, you can go to the bins and buy clothing for like 50 cents a piece. You can go and flip those for $20 each, right? So I recommended to him, use DoorDash to get your starting capital. Once you have your starting capital, keep doing DoorDash on the side. You don't have to do it 5-6 days a week now. Do it a couple days a week. Keep that cash flow coming in and start injecting that into your eBay business. Once you start to get familiar with eBay and start to build that up and you start to get more money, all right, now we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 grand. Let's try out this Amazon thing because Amazon is very capital intensive versus eBay. So that's like the tier system that I had brought up to him, and it's like it blew his mind, right? And it's not any groundbreaking advice. This is all basic beginners 101 stuff, which is why I want to make this video. This video is not for intermediate or advanced people. This is all way beyond I'm sorry, reverse that. You guys are all way beyond this. But this is for the average person that I feel like maybe watches this channel or a few others that hasn't done much. Or maybe you've tried eBay for a little bit. You've tried Amazon for a little bit. Maybe you've done DoorDash or Instacart or one of the other side hustles, but you haven't really done much. So 1, go back and get your mindset straight. 2, weigh out your options and choose one. Don't try to get all of them under your belt in the beginning. You don't need them all. Choose one. Number 3, research as much as you need to get started, but don't get caught up in just watching videos and reading all the Facebook posts in different groups and reading all the articles, reading Reddit posts. Don't get caught into that loophole where you're just absorbing the same information that's been regurgitated like 5 different times. Can we all agree that most reselling advice, once you get the basics down, it's all just like 5 different variations and different ways to say the same things. Once you get the basics down, get to work. So once you understand the basics, whether it be Amazon, eBay, DoorDash, Instacart, whatever, learn the basics on how to get started, how to do the first XYZ. So in eBay, the basics would be, what are the photo requirements? What kind of photos should I be taking of my products? How do I go find products? This is all basic advice. It's given out on tons of these YouTube channels. We all appreciate the support, by the way. And P.S., if you guys are still here, do me a big favor, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Are you guys enjoying this type of content? This is just a little bit more raw, unfiltered. Here you go. Boom. Hopefully somebody takes some use out of this. So eBay world, you need to learn how to take basic photos. Not difficult to do. Tons of videos on it. How to create a listing, title, description. Of course, eBay's, you've got to check all the boxes and input all the model, like all this kind of stuff. And then once you sell the item, how do you ship it? You have to figure that out. Do the research. There's videos here on this channel and videos on tons of other great YouTube channels all in the reselling community that teach you for free how to do this. Once you research the basics, then you need to figure out number 4, which is where I feel a lot of people are failing. I feel like a lot of people understand, okay, yep, got the mindset. Check, let's go. Okay, weighing out my options. I like eBay. Let's get into eBay. Check. All right, I did my research. I watched the videos. I subscribed to the channel. I liked all the likes. Check. And then they start to get to work. And then after a few weeks or a few months, they quit. Or they stop for a few months at a time and try to restart again and then quit. Why? I feel, personally, my advice, my opinion, I guess, I feel it's because people are not setting a consistent schedule to follow. I hate running my work life by a schedule and a calendar and a checklist every day. Hate it. But I am so much more productive and create far more results when I follow a consistent schedule and to-do list for myself every week. Is anyone else like that? I despise following to-do lists. I despise sitting down and making a to-do list and the check boxes every day and making a schedule for my workflows. Despise it. But I am so much better of a business owner and a person because I do it. So I feel like newbies, beginners would do far better if after doing the research on how to start your side hustle and grow it in the beginning, I feel like so many people would do so much better if they then created a schedule for themselves. This is advice I wish I took in the beginning. You guys, some of you are like, oh my gosh, you're 5 years into this and you run multiple 6-figure business. How do I get there? Like, don't do the shit I did in the beginning. I wish I would have followed a schedule because I would have been in a far better place than we are now. Follow a schedule. Here's what that might look like. And I can't talk about all the different side hustles. I'll just use eBay because I think eBay is one of the best low barrier to entry side hustles you can start. If you work 40 hours a week and you need a couple hours a day to spend with your family, like, I get that. I got a family. I get that. A schedule for you might be from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'm going to photo and list 3 items. Or that might be 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. before your family gets up. That's my power hour. Is typically I'm up at about 5:30, 6 a.m. and my family typically doesn't get out of bed till about 7:30 or 8. So I know I have like a good 2-hour window in the morning, hour and a half-ish, to get what I need to get done. And I spend that time on myself. So that I go out in the garage because Oregon is on friggin' lockdown like everybody else. All the gyms are closed. So I built a little home gym. I take care of my body and my mind first thing in the morning. And I do my meal prep that sets me up for my day. And then my business gets done during the day. But if you are in a position where you have a full-time job to go to on top of everything else, you have to set your schedule. I can't tell you which one's best. It depends on your schedule. It has to be before your family gets up. You just wake up early. It has to get done one way or another. You either wake up early and get it done. Sometime you can squeeze in on your lunch break. I know people that will take photos of their products in batches. So they'll go and if they have a 2-hour chunk on Saturday, for example, they'll just go and start photoing a bunch of different products. So they have those photos on their phone throughout the week. And then from there, if they have a little bit of an extra 10, 15-minute window on their lunch break, they'll go list a couple of things. I highly recommend that method. Most of you are probably in the scenario where you're going to work late. You have to in the beginning. At some point, you should not, right? At some point, you should not. You'll get burnt out very quick. Trust me. You'll probably get burnt out no matter what. It's just part of the entrepreneur game. You have to go through those burnouts to realize how not to burn yourself out. But you have to create a schedule for yourself. Trust me, it will make your business and your life so much more productive. And stay consistent with it. Now, in reselling world, a schedule means there's a couple main components in reselling. You have sourcing and you have listing and shipping. Those are like the 3 big pillars to reselling. You have different things underneath that, but can we all agree those are the 3 main pillars in reselling? Sourcing, listing, and shipping. Might be slightly different if we're talking about FBA, but still kind of the same concept. So you have to figure out in your weekly schedule, because some of this stuff you won't do every single day. So you need to look at your week, Monday through Sunday. Well, I have Thursday afternoons off. So then you can squeeze in Thursday afternoons to go out and source, or you source on Saturdays. And this is a conversation you have to have with your spouse or your family. I had to have it with my wife, Tristan, in the beginning when I said, hey, I want to try this reselling thing. No idea what I'm doing, but I know it's going to require some time. What days of the week would you be less mad about me leaving? is how the conversation went. She wasn't excited at the fact I was getting ready to go spend an extra 5 or 10 hours a week outsourcing when we already had little time together. But I got it done. So you need to figure out what your schedule is. When are you going to list? When are you going to ship? When are you going to source your items? You have to come up with a schedule for yourself. Follow it. Leads me to number 5. Tangible advice here. Take everything you just learned in this episode. And again, this advice is literally going to hit home for like 1, maybe 2 people. And I am 100% okay with that. If I can help inspire one person to literally follow these 5 steps and to message me 30 days from now, like, hey, Chaz, I watched that episode. You called me out for my BS. I did the 5 things. 30 days later, here's the results I got. I really, really want to get at least one of those messages 30 days from now. And that is tip number 5. 30 days of focus. Many of you, if you are in the position I talked about, being in that beginner level, not really knowing what to do, and you're stuck in just analyzing and watching videos and you're not doing anything, A lot of you are going to listen to this whole thing. Oh my gosh, that was so motivating. Yeah, I'm pumped up. I'm going to go do this. You guys, heightened sense of emotion. Like, do not rely on that. Use it as the spark you need. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about being hyped up and pumped and motivated. Use that as the spark you need to create an action plan and follow that plan for 30 days. And don't do this like, oh, I'm going to start next Monday. I'll start on February 1st. Like, no, do it now. If you follow it for 30 days, it like, as long as you're listing good products, it is near impossible not to have any progress in 30 days. It's like if I handed one of my fitness clients, a nutrition plan and an exercise routine and said, hey, if you follow this exactly as I prescribe it for 30 days and then come back and report to me, it is near impossible that if they're following it, they won't see some type of positive result. And I'm telling you that now. Some of you literally will change and alter the path of your life and your business if you follow this for 30 days. And I'm putting that out there as a challenge. So if you need a little, you guys have been following my eBay reboot series. Some of you need to reboot the entire thing, not just eBay, but your life. Follow your routine that you come up with for 30 days. I'm not telling you what the perfect routine is. It's different for everybody. Some of you have time restrictive schedules. Some of you have lack of capital. There's all these different factors. I can't tell you the perfect schedule to follow. I know what works for me. Go back through this and take notes if you need to. But whatever you get inspired to do, if you got a little bit of golden nugget, like, okay, I know I should be doing this, write that down, make it into a schedule and follow that schedule for 30 days. Once you do your reboot, come back to me, shoot me a message, whether it's on Instagram, the Side Hustle Network, Facebook, wherever. Shoot me a message. I would love to hear from those of you that actually take this challenge and do it. I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm not charging a dime. I wanted to pour this out there because it was a great conversation I had with somebody in person. And I literally I came into my office after that conversation. I wrote down the 5 things I told him to do. And I hope I hear from him. I really do. I want to see people win. That's why this channel even exists. I would not waste my time making YouTube videos because it is very time consuming to do this shit, guys. If you didn't figure that out by now, I would not be wasting my time to post these videos just to make some ad revenue. Not worth it. I can literally make 5x reselling shit than what I do on the YouTube channel here. I show up and do the videos so that hopefully I can get a message from one of you that says, hey Chaz, I watched this video. I got inspired. Here's what I did. Here was the result. Thank you. And I've gotten hundreds of those messages over the years. They rock my world. They make me want to come back up and keep doing this stuff. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Shoot me a message 30 days from now. I really hope I hear from at least one of you. Aside from that, you guys have an amazing evening. If you are watching live, I'm going to hit just a few questions. I have not even looked at the chat. Holy cow, how am I going to keep up with this? I do have to go grab my kiddos. So, I'll give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Bryce, yes. I'm struggling after the Q4 burnout. Q4 burnout is a legitimate thing. I definitely hit it this year. Yeah, we hit Q4 hard. And that's not just our own account. We have the prep center as well. So the whole team was feeling it. We have a team of 6. And then Tristan and I, all of us were tired. The final couple days of 2020 shipping here at the prep center, all 8 of us, you could just we were moving slow, man. Q4 burnout is a legitimate thing. And I have no great fancy advice to give. It's just do whatever you need to do to take some time off and recoup. I still feel a little bit of the Q4 burnout. I feel like I haven't started my 2021 with the big old pumped up hoorah I wanted to, but I'm showing up and doing it anyways because I'm not relying on that heightened state of mind I wanted to be in. And then Tristan and I are going to be taking 3 days off and just going to the beach this weekend. So this Thursday we're off the grid, and that's how we recharge and recoup. And usually we do that at the end of each year, but we didn't get to do that this year. So that's kind of our 3 days away. The team has got the shipping here at home base, so we're definitely going to take a few days off. That's how we recharge. So you need to do whatever you need to do to recharge. But burnout is it is a normal part of the process. It's not a fun one. You can prevent it at some point, but sometimes you just can't. It happens. Okay, let me hit a couple more of these here. Thanks for being here, by the way, guys. Hey, I just saw we got Gretchen Russell up in the house. Nice. I can't see who this was from. It just says Facebook user. This is my 2021 extreme goal is to hit 7 figures in sales, my e-commerce stores. That is incredible. That is some work that goes into that right there. Ah, beautiful. Chaz is speaking truth. The hardest part is doing. Most people spend all this time studying and learning, but never act. Do, fail a little, and repeat until you succeed. That is the most solid advice out of this entire episode. Because, I mean, that literally ties in everything I just talked about. Comes down to you have to go through the experiences yourself. You can watch videos about something. You can read books. You can read articles. You can read blogs. You have to get the experience yourself. How many people have watched one of their favorite bands on YouTube? You go and watch videos. You listen to music. You get pumped up. Little bit of a different experience when you go see that band live. You experience it yourself. That is the exact same thing that happens here in business. It's the same thing as when I had fitness clients. I would have fitness clients when I was a trainer, and I'd be like, hey, what are your goals? I want to be able to do 10 push-ups in a row. How do I get there? You get down and do more push-ups. I want to get better at running. How do I do that? You put on your shoes and go run. Okay? I'm going through this right now. I'm training for a half marathon, and I'm getting better at running by running. I can watch all the videos I want about how to run better, how to run faster, how to breathe easier. I can go and research the best shoes, the best compression stuff, the best this and that. None of that matters if I don't get out and experience it myself. Because firsthand experience is the best teacher ever. No course, no guide, no video, no YouTuber can give you the experience that firsthand putting yourself through it will do. So if you want to get better at reselling, you got to resell shit. If you feel like you're not great at eBay listing, you've got to list more. If you need to take better photos, then take more photos. Try different angles, look up some videos about it, and then try it. That's the part most people miss. They watch videos on stuff and don't try it. It's all trial and error. It's firsthand experience. Now I'm tuned in. Which marathon? It's my own marathon, if that's a real thing. As far as I know, all the marathons are shut down in this whole area. So I need to do some research on them. They're canceling left and right. So I'm setting dates on the calendar, and I'm going to go out and do it with my little running app. So I already crushed I started January 1st. I started 2021. I did a 10K, which is 6.2 miles. 6.2 miles is a 10K. I did that on January 1st. I haven't ran 6 miles in a row. I can't even tell you the last time. Literally 10 years ago, 2010, I did Portland Marathon. That was the last time I ran any type of distance. I've done like 1 to 5 miles since then, but six was tough. And now I'm going to go for 15K next. And that's coming up here. What's day? The 11th, probably in like the next 3 weeks. I'll do a 15K, which is 9 miles. and then do a half marathon after that, probably about March. That first week of March, I'm going to shoot for and work my way up. And I did set a crazy goal this year. I never thought I would say this again after doing it the first time. I want to go out and do another marathon because I'm in way better shape now. I have a lot more knowledge about proper strength training versus 10 years ago. And all I did was run. I lifted 0 weights. I ate garbage and I just ran. I was skinny. I was like 170 pounds. I'm hovering about 195 right now. So I'm heavier, but I've put on a lot more actual muscle now than what I had back then. So I think I'm going to crush my time that I did last time. Hey, there we go. Vero Beach in Florida on the 24th. Is that for a half? I might. Trista's going to be in Texas, so I have both the kids that week. I might be able to pawn them off to a grandparent and go down and run a race. That'd be fun. All right, crew. That has been our time together for the evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate each of you. I know this is taking time away from your business, away from your family, especially late at night right now. So thank you guys for showing up and supporting the channel here. And if you guys have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, The Side Hustle Network, and we will talk to you guys on Wednesday. Wednesday night, Trista and I will be going live, typical Q&A sesh for an hour with you guys. Aside from that, peace out. See you next time.